everyone, welcome back to my channel, Truth Seeking with Veronica. A grand hope to you all. I hope you enjoyed your Sabbath. I know I had a very restful and peaceful Sabbath. Let me know how your Sabbath went. Well, I'm just on here because I want to do this is a very quick video, part 2 on how do you know when evil spirits are around you. So I'm just gonna if you didn't see the first video, just go back and look for part 1. I'm gonna go ahead and just give you a few other ways to know when something evil that is unclean, that is not of the Most High, is around you. And like I said before, many have different ways, okay, because the Most High use and work with his children individually, okay. So I may say something and you go, that sounds different. Yeah, because we're all unique, we're all different, we're all of his children, okay. So I think I shared this on my other channel. I would say a blurriness, okay? Okay. It's like a blurry dizziness. If any of you have been in the spiritual realm, you'll know what I mean by a blurriness. It's like you're there, but you're not. Kind of like with a projection in the old days be going, and it's kind of like flickering. Kind of like when you're in the spiritual realm, okay? And if you're have ever experienced that, let me tell you how I experienced it at one time, okay? I experienced it a lot, especially if I go and walk into a room. Like, let's say you're at work and you're going for a meeting, okay? And you walk into that room and you feel the room, okay? And then, you know, you hear someone come up to you possibly, and it may not be that exact person, okay? And they're talking to you, but at the same time, the room just in the background looks like it's in a realm, okay? In a different you feel like you're in a different setting, okay? Here's another one. I recall one time I had done an interview with this lady, and it was some years ago, okay? Probably about 22 years ago, and I knew I qualified for the position. I knew I did. I mean, I think she couldn't really tell the hue of my skin by my resume and by my name, okay? She really couldn't tell. So I believe she got curious and just had me to come in. This was a high level position, and I knew I qualified for it. But as soon as I walked through that door, I felt a heaviness on me. And I said, oh well. I sat up here and wasted some time. But at the same note, you never waste time, because we're always learning, right? Always learning, okay? So I'm sitting down and I can see that she's a little disgruntled because she wasn't expecting me. And that has happened to me so many times, okay? And so when I sat down and she started talking to me, it was like my eyes in my head. You know what vertigo feels like? It felt like I was looking at her, and it just felt like I was getting dizzy. And she was, it's a weird feeling, okay? But it was like vertigo, okay? But sitting down. And I knew right then, I was like, ooh, you know, she got a lot of things on her, and she has a lot of hate and a lot of evil. And I was glad that I saw that, and I was glad that I was not selected. That's how I feel. I was glad that I was not selected, okay? Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever walked in a room or was talking to someone, and all of a sudden you just start feeling like vertigo, like even your vision sees double of them? And how I see it is a spirit of confusion also is on them, okay? And I was just glad I didn't get that job. I was like, you learn yourself. You learn yourself in a spiritual way of how the rock speaks to you, okay, and alerts you. And I was very appreciative of that. Let's see. I'm just trying to think, as it come to me, I come on and do part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever. If more come to me to help my fellow brothers and sisters out in the walk, okay, in the truth. Because we have gifts, and we have spiritual gifts, and it was not taught to us in church, okay? So a lot of things we just said, oh, that must be evil. But no, it wasn't. It was not evil. Okay, you had gifts, you had your alerts, from the Ruach HaKodesh, and your wisdom is with you. And then you'll get understanding and knowledge on as far as what was going on with you. So think back, in the past, and kind of think about when you may have stepped into a room or been talking to someone, and it just seemed like you got dizzy or vertigo in front of them. It's a spirit of confusion, and that's evil, because Yah is not of confusion at all. Okay, so I believe that's all I wanted to talk about on this video. Because I believe a lot of people are experiencing that now, today, because there's a lot of confusion on people, especially those who are still in the Christian faith and don't understand what's going on, don't understand why they're not being raptured up, because they don't know their word, okay? So go back and look at the first video, and that's pretty much all I can think of as far as unctions and feelings. Now there are things that you can see on people at times. You can also see them shift their faces, that spirit, when it's an unclean spirit in them, and you are carrying a Ruach HaKodesh, it can't hide, okay? So it will manifest itself. It will, okay? I've seen whole body manifestations right beside the person, okay? I've seen it rise up above them, okay? So there are things that will also, with your eyes, you will see, okay? What's another way of knowing? I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this. How about disorientation? Have you ever felt that? You would think that it's anxiety, right? But it is not anxiety. You can go into somewhere and you're just kind of disruffled. Have you ever experienced that? And it's because of all the people, skin suits, people that are, I would say, soulless, or many are soulless, walking around us this day and time. Everyone is not the Most High's people or children, okay? All souls belong to Him, but all are not His, okay? Satan, he spawns some too. So I know I have gone places and be prayed up with the whole armor of Yah on. So keep that armor on, okay? On you and your family and your loved ones. And I have been disoriented. And I'm like, why am I forgetting or feel agitated? Anxiety feeling. And I have to sit and ground myself and go, oh, I'm around something that is projecting fear and anxiety at me, okay? And right then is when you start quoting scriptures in your heart and your mind, because you ask the Ruach to help you, okay? You ask, and the Ruach will start giving you verses and start letting you see where it's coming from, and you're bounded it, okay? And you're casting it back to the pits of hell. And then some people, no, you do not bind and cast with some people. You just don't do that. Okay? Now, the rock will let you know if you need to do that. Because when people are going around doing that and they were not told to do that by the Most High, you know, them demons come back 7 times worse. Yeah, they bring their friends. Okay? So you don't want to do that unless you are instructed to bind up and cast back to the pits of hell, to the abyss. So when you feel that disoriented or forgetting, you know, when you're in a public place, just remember that that is also like a spirit of anxiety, of fear. And God did not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay? Goes right back to that. So until next time, that's all I wanted to share with you. Have an awesome day. I love you much. Veronica.